On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the General Secretary of NUPENG. He brought us up to speed on how workers are faring in the oil and gas sector, while also emphasizing the need for decent work. He also spoke on the reason why the union took up the initiative to have a health insurance scheme for petroleum tanker drivers. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
And congratulations on so many top projects that the union was able to come up with in the last few weeks.
We thank God.
From the handing over of the building to the healthcare scheme for petroleum tanker drivers.
Yeah.
Can you bring us up to speed on what initiated this concept of having a healthcare package for petroleum tanker drivers?
Yeah, thank you. It's nice having you around, and we are grateful for your coming. If you look at the petroleum tanker drivers, I think the union have been so lucky. Labour movement in Nigeria has been so lucky to have the petroleum tanker drivers organized and unionized. They've been so helpful for so many years in terms of most of the struggles of labour movement in Nigeria. Let me cast your mind back to June 12th struggle. They played prominent roles there. And for Nigeria Labour Congress generally, most of important struggles, we always make use of petroleum tanker drivers. And in NUPENG, in particular, they are what I would call the second mechanized division of our great union. And they've contributed so much more in terms of protecting and projecting the rights of workers generally. Most often, management are afraid of doing anything inimical to union members because of the fear of petroleum tanker drivers. And anytime we call on them, they are always out there to give solidarity to workers in terms of the workers' rights, in terms of struggle for better and improved condition of work. But you will find out that this set of members, how have they been catered for? We have been using them to fight for others. Have they gotten anybody to fight for them? In particular, I love petroleum tanker drivers because when I look at a petroleum tanker driver, I see the picture of a man that did not choose that career because they love that career. All of you, when you were born, everybody celebrated that you are going to be a big man. But most times, at primary school level, because of lack of financial capacity on the part of your parents, they ask you, follow up Brother Siku to be riding. And as small as you are, you'll be rolling tire. You all started as motorboy, and you all graduated to be tanker driver. And I've seen tanker drivers growing to become petrol station owner, truck owners. They fought against all the challenges, all the obstacles of life to rise above the storm. So I always feel for tanker drivers. I always feel that we at this side, we are only opportune by where we were born and the opportunity that came our way. Many of them will have been more brilliant than most of us. Many of them, we were all started at primary school level or secondary school level. They were brilliant, but many of them could not afford WAEC fee, and then they had to opt for something else. And that's why they are there. That's one part of the story. So it was all this put together, that informed decision of the union to say there must be some social nets, some provisions for these golden people that are laying golden egg for us. Because they are so important to us. We should not just allow them to be doing this for year in, year out without anybody taking care of them. Have we ever shared a thought about when they have sickness, ailment on the road, how are they taking care of themselves? Who is attending to them? And how much have they been paid? And they are traveling in the night, with bad roads and all sorts of things. And that was what informed the decision of the union to say, out of what we have, we must carve out some money. And we thank God it was unanimously accepted that we should create a kind of health insurance for the tanker driver. That a driver on the wheel that is driving from Calabar to Sokoto, anywhere in the part of the country, wherever he is, any kind of ailment, he can approach and seek medical support, medical assistance, beyond first aid. And when they have accident too, there must be numbers to call for ambulances, for emergency treatment, for immediate treatment for this set of guys. This set of guys have been so important in Nigeria economy, and they've contributed so much more into Nigeria economy, into our into our manufacturing sector, into our homes, into running of offices. It's important. The little we are doing is just too small, but it's important. We must take care of this set of guys. They are very important, just like our security forces. Thank you.
Okay, I know that when it comes to safety training and retraining of tanker drivers, I know that the union has actually recognized the fact that they are an essential part of the country and economy, and that training has always taken place.
Yeah.
I remember that there was an incident whereby there was a fire in Delta State.
Yeah.
And there was a particular tanker driver that was able to maneuver the situation. Yeah. So how often do you go about this training and retraining, and why is it of utmost importance for the union to involve itself with this process and not necessarily wait for the employers of labor themselves?
Yeah, thank you. It's all boiled down to part of the welfare scheme we have for these drivers. We believe that it's important we allow this driver, we make this driver stay alive by God's grace. So, and when not only staying alive, they should not lose their limbs, they should not lose any precious part of their body. So we have been doing this for more than 10 years, to be having regular training in collaboration with Federal Road Safety, Fire Brigade, police, and other experts on road. So the importance of that is that we want to secure their lives. We don't want them to be incapacitated. So we need to prevent accidents, and we need to ensure that they drive safely, and we need to also help them to ensure that they live well, healthy, and they are more focused, because they can achieve much more in life than just even driving. So as part of that, the graduation is from those safety training to now health insurance and other social welfare packages that we have assigned for them. We take tanker drivers as very, very important segment of our labor movement.
Talking about health insurance, we know that the government also actually offers a level of insurance for its citizens. Even though it might not be that comprehensive, we're also aware that some employers of labor try to come up with different platforms or avenue whereby their workers can actually have access to medical care. Yeah. With the few years or few months of experience you've had in terms of relating with the health insurance company, what would you say has been the challenge so far, and what more do you think relevant authorities can do to ensure that an average worker that is trying to earn his living has access to proper medical care, especially in an era or in a situation whereby we have lots of pharmaceutical companies actually leaving the shores of the country?
Number one, I know some state governments, like Lagos state government, is doing so much in terms of healthcare provision. I also know some companies are also making provision for their staff. But for tanker drivers, they are like public goats. Nobody takes care of tanker driver because most of their employer are not really structured. So issue of provision of health care is not really there for petroleum tanker drivers. But when you're talking about generality of the people, I think awareness raising, government should do more, employers should do more. If you are providing healthcare facilities for the people, let them be aware that there are healthcare provisions Let them be aware that they can access this provision, these services, and at what cost. If it's free, let them, because poverty is a strong thing. Many people are dying of minor ailments because they are scared of what the hospital will charge. Many fail to go out there and seek medical assistance or support because they are so scared this hospital will charge them beyond what is in their pocket. So rather, let me manage the sickness at home. But if there is enough awareness raising that let people know that government is providing this, when you go to the general hospital, this, and there should be also the monitoring, and let there be enough awareness raising that we are doing this. And that's what we are doing for tanker drivers. We've raised awareness, and we ensure that every unit is constantly telling members, if you are sick, stop using local herbs or local pharmacies to treat yourself. You have access to medical facilities. Hospitals' names are listed. Go there. And if you have any complaint, report back immediately.
All right, very quickly, let's move on to the fact that during some few weeks ago, I don't want to say last year because last year seems like it's very far. Yeah. About a month ago, there was an handing over ceremony that happened in your newly reconstructed or rebuilt building. Very good edifice, I must say. When should we be looking out for its commissioning?
That very big, beautiful building you are talking about there. We thank God. God made, and we commend our members for their dedication, for the sacrifices they've made, and especially for the leaders of the union. There are a lot of deniers for us to have that Nnupeng house as a tour now. Yeah, we are planning to have it commissioned officially on the 6th of April this year by the grace of God. We're still working on the furniture aspect of it. There are things to use like all the tools for workers to work inside there and the sitting chairs and furnitures. So basically those are the things remaining, but by the grace of God we shall, and you are invited. 6th of April, you are invited to official commissioning of Nnupeng tour.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Very quickly, one other issue that we know that an average Nigerian worker or even an oil and gas worker is actually faced with is the issue of casualization of workers. What more needs to be done without taking much of our time and your time? What do you think needs to be done as a matter of urgency to address the issue of casualization of workers? Do you think we don't have the relevant laws? Do you think it's the implementation of the laws? What more do you think needs to be done as soon as possible?
Basically, the issue of casualization thrives in a situation of large population and lack of employment. So people are forced to just accept any kind of job that is offered to them. So, and even when you try to organize them, because when it started, our idea was that, okay, if you say you want to go through this route, we'll organize them and we will improve their condition of work to the level that will be, it's a waste of time putting them on casual. So we started organizing them. But now we're also receiving resistance from these workers because they don't want to lose the job. The fear of losing the job is making them to be scared of the union as well. So that is one aspect of the challenge we have. Citizens, workers are not courageous enough to come out and say, we want to be part of the union because they know the risk. And that comes out from lack of institutional support. The unions are also up and doing in the work. I know the unions are also getting tired and weak because with the casualization, the membership is decimated. The resources to the union is reducing terribly. So there are a lot to do. And if we have institutions that strongly support trade union rights, labor rights, and organizing the workers, it will go a long way. Because the essence, the reason for casualization is to reduce the cost of production. Cost of operation by employer. Employers are running away from some basic rights they think are naira and kobo, like provision of annual leave, provision of medical support, provision of transport. So that's why they are shifting to it. And the quality of production and quality of life of work has gone down. Decency in employment has really diminished.
Finally, talking about decent work, some of the activities you've been able to come up with, which looks like it was done yesterday, of course, was done over a couple of maybe 4 to 5 years. And what has been the response from your members?
Members are excited. They are very appreciative of what we are doing. They know that it's from out of the little resources that we are trying to do this. But it has not been easy. It has not been easy. The expectation is so high, especially thinking that we have a lot of money. That's why I will build that place. That house is from the sacrifices of workers. It's not that there is money anywhere. But for us, at the end of the building, what we need, we must render more services to our members, most especially those in the informal sector, because they are the most vulnerable. They are the most vulnerable segment of our society. They are on daily pay. There is no social net for them, no medical support for them. So we intend to extend the insurance scheme, health insurance scheme, to all that informal sector workers, so that at least some segment of the society will be covered. We will do the little we can.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to TVC News at 10, the edition which features Flashback. We begin first this hour with the President Bola Tinubu's appeal for an equitable access to capital for developing countries to provide the much-needed resources for development and solve some of the most pressing challenges in the world. The President made his position known at the 19th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the